may be seated.
Prior to his crucifixion, Jesus was flogged, mocked by the Roman soldiers, and his head adorned with the crown of thorns. When they arrived to Golgotha, the poles of the crosses were already planted. Typically, the Romans forced their victims to carry their own crossbeams. By this time, Jesus is too weak to bear the weight. He has been up all night. His body is beaten and battered. And then in one verse of Scripture, a new character appears, a man named Simon. History says we know only a little bit about him. He was a Jew from North African city of Cyrene, which is modern-day Libya and not far from Benghazi. I know a little more than history books because my name is Alexander and Simon happens to be my father. My father was passing by the soldiers who compelled him to carry the cross of Jesus. What's the story of this man, Simon of Cyrene, my father?
As long as I remember, I've been walking through the wilderness, praying to the Father, waiting for my time. I come here with a mission. Soon I'll give my life for this world. I'm praying in the garden, and I'm looking for a miracle. I find the journey hard, but it's the reason I was born. Can this cup be passed, Lord? I pray your will be done in this world. So I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame to the end of the road, through the struggle and pain. And I'll do it for love, and it won't be in vain. Yes, I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame. Like I'm alone here, and I'm treated like a criminal. The time has come for me now, though I've done nothing wrong. Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they've done in this world. So I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame to the end of the road, through the struggle and pain. And I'll do it for love, though it won't be in vain. Yes, I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame.
A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of me and my brother Rufus, was passing by on his way from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross of Jesus. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of skulls. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him, dividing up his clothes, and they cast lots to see what each would get. It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice and the charge against him read, "The King of Jews." They crucified 2 rebels, with one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insulted at him, shaking their heads, saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves. "He saved others," they say, "but he can't save himself. Let this Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. At noon, darkness come over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing near heard this, they said, "Listen, he's calling Elijah." "Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to take him down," he said. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last.
Three more days and I'll be coming back again. 3 more days and I'll be coming back again. Carry the shame to the end of the road, through the struggle and pain, and I'll do it for love, and it won't be in vain. Yes, I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame. Yes, I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame to the end of the road, through the struggle and pain. I'll carry my cross, and I'll carry the shame.
Stop. Wait a minute. Can we slow things down just a little bit? Because you see, my life's delicate. Sometimes I can't handle it. I want to push the pause button, find out where the handle is. See, the story of my life, it's not what I want it to be. I am riddled with strife, out of control, constantly. I tried to make things right, but it's so sad. You see, in the blink of an eye, I'm embroiled in controversy, an accomplice to a crime, the worst in history. The Son of God died on a cross that I carried. And now I carry this weight on my shoulders, a guilt that only grows as I get older and older. I want a blank page, one without blood on the cover. My name is Simon from Cyrene. I want to start over. See, my story begins in the city of Cyrene, in Libya, along the Mediterranean Sea, some 1,700 miles from Israel's holy city. But all those miles, they don't begin to describe the distance from God I've been feeling on the inside. Years of mistakes and foolishness, selfishness and pride. That's the heavy weight I carry. And my life is a bumpy ride. See, as a boy, my parents taught me from God's holy word. Yet despite what I heard, I went on undeterred, stirring up trouble. The moral lines, I blurred. With God's will and God's ways, I never was concerned. Well, now I'm a dad. 2 sons of my own. And if I'm being honest, I'm embarrassed by the example that I've shown. All of my life, I've been carrying these heavy stones. They're the sins and the burdens for which I cannot atone. I wish they had known what I know. I want them to walk with God instead of walking all alone. And so, I decided to take them with me on a 1,700-mile journey over land and sea to Jerusalem, Israel's holy city. I was searching for a remedy for sin's hold on me. You see, I read in this Bible about the Passover and how God gives sinners a chance to start over. So I carried my sin and shame on my shoulders. I went to the market. I bought this little lamb, a lamb that was kosher. And as to Jerusalem, we got closer and closer. I became quite emotional. I had to keep my composure. We arrived Friday morning underneath the blue skies. The mood in the city, that took me by surprise. Crowds gathered round, all shouting, "Crucify!" I'm not going to lie, I didn't know why. I'm making my way through the crowds, just trying to get by. I need to get to the temple. I have a lamb to sacrifice. But then what do I spy with my little eye? A guy beaten and bloodied, the source of the crowd's cries. What was his crime? Why is he so despised? I mean, they say he's a king, but if so, he's in disguise. He carries his cross. He falls down. He can't rise. So the guards, well, they look to me, trying to improvise. They pull me aside. They ask me to comply and carry his cross for him, to which I reply, it would not be wise for me to comply. You see, I am here for the Passover sacrifice. I am here to remove the distance between myself and my God. I got to exit this scene. Because if I touch that man's blood, I'll be rendered unclean. Now, I have a lamb to sacrifice. Will you let me go, please? But those guards, they wouldn't let me say no. They said, pick it up and go, or your blood's going to flow. So although I'm already carrying a heavy load, now I throw the cross on top. I say to my boys, you stay here and lay low. So I'm carrying the cross behind this poor man. His blood ran red, and he could barely stand. He fell face first on the ground. So I'm doing all I can to try and help him up when I realize his blood is on my hands. Blood on my hands? Blood on my hands? Do you know what this means? It means I'm unclean, guilty of the obscene. I came here to get clean, to be washed of my sin gene, and now everything is worse, and I just want to scream. I picked up the cross. I said, let's get this over with. I was frustrated, despairing. But then our eyes met. And for the first time, I let my eyes get set on the man they called Jesus of Nazareth. Was it a second or an hour? I really don't know. But when I looked in his eyes, something stirred in my soul. Despite his physical toll, you could tell he was still in control. And his loving gaze, it told me that his goal was to make me whole. You see, there's a hole in my soul. And I came here with a goal to fill it. Now I'm wondering if Jesus can fulfill it. We made our way to the top of Mount Calvary. I was tired, knees weak, arms heavy, tired from the heavy load that I was forced to carry. And if this is how I'm feeling, then Jesus' pain loads are scary. Now, I'm standing by. Just one in the crowd, an observer to the crime that's about to go down. I wince as they lay Jesus down on the ground, grab the hammer and the nails, and they begin to pound. Hear the clink of the nails as they pierce his hands, and the crash as they inflict mad gashes, and hear the squeal as the steel comes crashing down. You can't get past this sound. His teeth are gnashing now. His veins snap. You feel that? He's hot flashing now. He's draped in blood. He's covered in a cap and a gown. So many cracks from the strap that it numbed his back. Crucifixion makes his lungs collapse. See his chest. Hear him gasp for breath. Hear him, and until there's no gasp left. As he hung on that cross, he prayed to God above. His words were full of power, his heart full of love. Father, forgive them, he prayed as he looked down at me. Forgive them? How could that possibly be? I'm the one whose hands are bloody. I carried his cross. I put him on the tree. I'm the one that's guilty. How does he pray? To forgive me. Well, then it got dark. So dark you could feel it. Jesus said, "It is finished." And he gave up his spirit. What have we done? The Son of God came to visit and we killed him. Our sin and shame know no limits. was beginning to think this whole Passover was a sham. There really is no forgiveness for a sinner like I am. But then I realized on that cross is the real Lamb who spills his blood for sinners, every woman, every man. I stood there in the dark with his blood on my hands. I carried his cross. I witnessed his death firsthand. And I'm ashamed of myself. My actions I don't understand. I want to start over. I want to be a new man. Well, maybe I can. Because here I stand. I am covered in the blood of the Lamb. In the darkness of death, in a tomb filled with pain, Jesus Christ stared out at a brand new blank page, ready to help us start over, ready to launch a new age. Death will be defeated when he rises in 3 days. Satan has been upstaged, for Jesus has interchanged our sin for his life, took our guilt, took our place. Now everything has changed. We are no longer the same. We are free to start over. We've been given a blank page.